Well, I've decided to make a YouTube channel. I just want to get my thoughts out there because I think all the time. And if I had to describe myself, I would say I'm a thinker. And I think of things so much that it gets a little tiring. But I also like to discuss concepts with people. And while a YouTube video isn't necessarily a discussion platform, it allows me to convey my ideas. And I enjoy doing that. That's why I created this channel. I'm just gonna kind of spitball things and talk about them, and you can disagree with them in the comments section, or you can agree with them. But I think there's something to be said by just getting things out there. So I'm gonna start this video off by talking about do things just to see where they take you. When I first moved to Conway, I I was there for college. I was going to be living there for the next 4 years. And the first week, I just got out and drove. No Google Maps, no destination. I just drove around to see what Conway was about. And the only thing I had intended with that was to just see where it took me. I had never been to Conway before. I'd been there once, but it was to play a football game against Conway. And it was my first time ever in the city living there. And I just wanted to see what was out there. I didn't drive to specifically do anything. I just drove to see what was out there. And a lot of times in life, we try to make things about something. We try to make things going in the direction of something. And that's not the point. The point is to just go and do things simply to see where it leads you. And that reminds me of why I explore and why humans explore. We don't explore with an end state in mind. When you go hiking, your end state is getting back in the car to leave. So obviously, when you go hike or when you go camping, your end state is it's over. When you go to a theme park, when you go to the pool, the end state is that it's over. So if all we're trying to do in life is get to the end state of things, then we're missing out on the exploration factor. You're missing out on doing something just to see where it takes you. Because the end state of life is death. The end state of life is death. So if you're trying to do everything for a specific end state in mind, you miss out on life. That brings me into my first point of I don't think goals are your answer. What do I mean by that? I'm not saying that if you have the goal to be a doctor or have the goal to be the first person in your family to go to college or have the goal of you want X amount of success. I'm not saying those are bad things. I'm just saying that what you're looking for isn't that goal. You're looking for more. You're looking for the journey on your way to that goal. Because you're going to learn a lot more from the journey. In fact, I don't think you learn anything from achieving a goal, from just the standpoint of getting something. Because the worst feeling in the world is getting something and feeling like you don't deserve it. Getting something because you didn't work for it. Because then no matter what you project on the outside, on the inside you feel like you didn't deserve it. And so if everything is focused on that goal, you're also going to lose sight of the things you enjoy. I just recently picked up playing the guitar. Why? Because I like music and I like singing along to songs and I like writing poetry and I like playing harmonica. And so my goal with playing guitar is to play it. That's my goal. My goal with playing harmonicas is to play them. My goal to write poetry is to write poetry. My goal to fish, I love fishing. My goal to fish is to fish. And the way I've framed my mind with that, with everything that I'm doing, my goal in life is to live. I don't know what my life is going to look like in 10 years. I couldn't have predicted my life right now a year ago. I couldn't have predicted my life right now 2 months ago. Let that sink in. You couldn't have predicted where your life is right at this moment 2 months ago. If 2 months ago on the day I said, hey, what are you going to be doing December 12th, 2024? You could give me a general idea. You could give me an average day, and you might get lucky. You might predict it. But if you can predict what you're going to do month to month, and if you can predict exactly what you're doing, I would say you might need to start living more. Do more things spontaneously. Do things in life for the spontaneity. And I'm not saying that when you have responsibilities, just completely ignore them. No, not at all. There are things in life you have to do and have to get done. But when it comes to the 80% of the other stuff, just do it simply to do it. Because when you run into the issue of when you get everything you want and you get all of the goals achieved and you get everything handed to you, then what? Make another goal? And another goal? And so for the rest of your life, are you just going to be making goals until you die and never really feel fulfilled? Because fulfillment is where you're at right now. Think about that. Fulfillment is exactly where you are right now. It's nowhere else. It's not in the future. It's not in the past. Fulfillment is now. And it's so profound because we're always trying to chase these goals and we're always trying to chase these things. And we forget that the reason we do things is just to do them. When you were a kid and you were playing with the Tonka truck or Legos or Barbies or whatever you were playing with, you weren't playing those to try to do anything. You were just playing with them. You were just playing with those toys because you wanted to have fun and you wanted to create these scenarios. You wanted to see what happens whenever you throw a Tonka truck off the top of the balcony and then you watch it smash on the ground and realize that concrete is a lot harder than plastic. But you're doing those things just to see where it takes you. And we often lose the childlike sense of happiness and wonder and joyous whimsy because we're always trying to have an end state in mind. And going back to what I said previously, the end state is death. The end state is that you die. And so if you're rushing towards that end state, if you're rushing towards end states and goals and achieving things, you're going to look back on your life on your deathbed and you're going to think to yourself, wow, not once did I enjoy life. And I couldn't imagine anything more depressing. Pivoting a little, I'm sure I'll find a way to tie this back in, but the old-fashioned way is sometimes the best way. I like to make my coffee with a percolator. And for those of you who don't know what a percolator is, it's a lot more complex than a Keurig. Because with a Keurig, you just pick your K-cup, you press a button, and then it makes it for you. And now I know there's an app. I personally don't have a Keurig, but I know there's an app now that you can have with your Keurig. And it'll start optimizing your coffee. I make my coffee the same way every morning. I fill my percolator with water, set it on the stove, turn the heat up to high, get my grounds, measure them out, put them in the little container. Then I put the container into the percolator. I wait for it to almost boil. Then I turn the water down because I don't want to burn my coffee. or I turn the heat down, not my water down. And it takes probably 10, 15 minutes to make my coffee every morning. What is that? 10, 15 times longer than what it takes with a Keurig. And so it's not convenient. But I don't do things because they're convenient. I try to do things the old fashioned way. I like smoking cigars. And the reason I like smoking cigars is because that's all you can do is smoke a cigar. You have to sit down. You have to learn how to light it. You have to get it even. And you have to go into the cigar shop, walk into the humidor, and you've got to select the cigar that you want for that specific moment. You start learning what you like. And it's the old fashioned way. Cigars are old fashioned. And I love doing things the old fashioned way because at the end of the day, if you're not doing ritualistic things and you're not upholding tradition, then life just gets into this boring cycle of how can I make this more efficient? How can I improve this? How can this serve me better? How can I possibly do this X, Y, and Z? And is this meeting my goals? And you get into that cycle of not doing things just to do them. I told you I was gonna relate it back. But do things the old-fashioned way. Pick a hobby that you enjoy and make it a little more primitive. If you enjoy camping, take one less item. Next time you go, take one less item. I'll challenge you, don't bring a tent. Just bring a sleeping bag. And if you don't camp, I challenge you to go camping. Just one night. Bring whatever you want. Go out to a campsite. Put your phone up for a bit. Start a fire. If you don't know how to make a fire, you're on YouTube. You can learn anything from YouTube. So YouTube it. Start a fire. Roast some marshmallows and just think. Bring your friend. Bring your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your mom, your dad. Bring your brother, sister, anyone. And just go out there. Heck, if you've never been camping before, you don't even have to spend the night. You can just go out, get a campsite for the day, and just spend the time outdoors. Because there's something to say about doing things the old-fashioned way that just make you appreciate life more. Because you realize that life is about living. And the whole point, the whole goal of life is to live. That's what I believe is the fundamental. That's what I believe God gave us the gift of life to live, not to constantly be trying to optimize this and find success here and achieve this lofty metric. And, did I get my steps in today? Did I run enough today? What's my sleep score on my Garmin? Did I study hard enough today? I don't think that's why God created us. He created us to love one another. And he created us to live in fellowship with other people and to make mistakes and to learn how to live better. At the end of the day, I'm a 23-year-old. I've only been on the earth 23 years and some change. And I don't know everything. And I'll never know everything. At all. I won't even achieve nearly 0.1% of knowledge. But that doesn't stop me from asking questions, and it doesn't stop me from wondering why. Why are we so focused on improvement? Why are we so focused on making ourselves better? When sometimes the answer is make less of yourself, give more time to others, give more time to your hobbies, and get out of your own way.